Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Stephen Larson. Also now live at the youtube.com/Stephen Larson, the aforementioned youtube.com/Stephen Larson. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about this week's NXT. We're going to be talking about because sort of the reason we're doing this on Thursday, which is not typical, is because we had some pretty big news about Sasha Banks and what she's going to be doing next, and Miro and what he's not going to be doing next. And then we've also got NXT, our initial sort of non-official NXT
non-official, yes,
deadline predictions. Ironically, Larson, as I just talked to you about how YouTube Live works and how, like, you know, there's like 13 seconds of stuff.
Yeah.
This time it waited forever and it caught the very tail end of our intro, like, graphic thing.
Oh my goodness.
You just can't win sometimes. We got a new member here in our YouTube chat, TD0. Thank you so much, YouTube. Be sure to light up those likes, smash that like button, and hit us up with a super chat if you can afford it. We'll read your question later on towards the end of the show. But yeah, we got deadline coming up, so we're going to be talking about NXT, Iron Survivor, all that good stuff. Yeah, the Iron Survivor Challenge. And then, of course, importantly, this coming Saturday, Action Coast Wrestling Resurgence, live professional wrestling in Sacramento, California. Me and Larson have taken ownership of a new wrestling company, and this is the first show that we have, and of course, appropriately, I should say, the main event, which was originally going to be Alpha Zoe versus Christina Von Eerie, had to be changed because Christina Von Eerie, due to circumstances outside of our control, I think that's the language that the professional wrestling uses, can no longer be there. Alpha Zoe's going to be putting up his championship, his Action Coast Wrestling Championship, against mystery opponent. I was hoping we just get somebody wearing like a gray bodysuit.
Totally.
Like vacant, you know, with like maybe a question mark on them.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because I think it would be great to usher in the Stephen Larson era with, not to say that Alpha Zoe would lose, but if Vacant happened to win, you know, our first champion.
It would seem appropriate. It would seem appropriate to a degree, yes.
Like a gray bodysuit guy. But I think Zoe would squash Vacant, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Alpha Zoe's great.
He's fantastic. He's our champion.
Fantastic.
He's
our champion. Also appearing, Cal Jack's going to be there.
Cal Jack's
very exciting.
There,
it's been a while since we've seen Cal.
Yeah.
Also, the Enforcer.
Yeah, the Enforcer's going to be there. Big Red's going to be there. He's bringing Big Red.
Yeah.
That's happening. So, hopefully it doesn't fall apart when it gets here.
I hope not. So it's going to be quite an event. Come one, come all. If you're in the NorCal area, or heck, if you're anywhere in at least the United States, there's still time to get a flight. And make it out to ACW Resurgence this Saturday.
Yeah.
I believe the main card probably starts at 7:30, something like that.
Something like that, I think. I don't know.
There's a VIP match, I'm guessing. That starts earlier.
All the information's on Eventbrite. Yeah, we got a VIP match. Friendos only. You know, you plunk down that extra $5 or whatever, you get an extra match.
You get 3 drink tickets too with the VIP.
That's true. Yeah,
entry.
That's good stuff. So come check out
$5 alone.
Come check out the show. We're not doing a fancy media call beforehand. We're going to talk about. Do we have any? I'll dig those up before our NXT deadline prediction. Shawn Michaels did a media call today.
Yeah.
And he said some stuff.
Yeah, I kind of scanned over it. Nothing really that huge.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was kind of most interesting, I think, was like, we sort of knew it. He's said it before. He's like, yeah, Triple H just lets me do my thing. We don't really see a lot of or talk much to each other anymore. He just lets me do my thing down here.
Yeah.
Bold move, Triple H.
Yeah. Or just like what he sees.
You know, I'm sure he probably appreciated the autonomy he had originally in NXT. And he's probably like, that's when that's what I did my best work. And so he hands it over to, HBK. He doesn't want to do what Vince did to him. Metal.
No micromanaging from Paul.
Right, exactly. So we're going to talk about all things NXT here in just a little bit. But first, this is the big news, man.
Oh, massive news.
Sasha Banks. So there hasn't been a lot of definitive news about Sasha Banks wrestling, her actual wrestling future. Of course, she's been on Barmageddon. But in terms of her wrestling, there has been a lot of news on that since she and Naomi walked out during an episode of Raw earlier this year. Of course, Naomi was recently seen at a ball game, I think, with Jade Cargill. But today, PW Insider had a potentially huge update on Sasha, reporting, quote, Mercedes Varnado, a.k.a. Sasha Banks, is expected to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 17 event next month, according to several sources close to the situation. While it is unknown whether Varnado will be appearing before the live crowd, we're told that New Japan is bringing her into the event. Well, for one thing, in terms of not appearing in front of the live crowd, why would you, if you're going to bring her in, holy moly, you put her out there in front of the live crowd.
You would think so. So they're doing another 2-day Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Correct.
January 4th is in the Tokyo Dome, and I think on the 21st, they're doing another Wrestle Kingdom theme show. Like last year, they'd had the Pro Wrestling Noah crossover. No announcement of what the nature of the second show is going to be quite yet. And this report doesn't specify whether it be the Tokyo Dome show or this other show that she may be appearing at. Kairi Sane, who is the IWGP Women's Champion, has a match for Wrestle Kingdom.
The
Tokyo Dome show. Against
Tam Nakano.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be a situation where Mercedes would answer, say, an open challenge or something at the Tokyo Dome show. But that's not to say she doesn't make an appearance at the Tokyo Dome show to potentially challenge Kairi for a match on the January 21st show.
That could be.
Which would be huge.
Oh, dude, that'd be massive. The question is, number one, do we know if she's still under contract with WWE? I know she's still listed on the roster page.
Yeah, so
the last we heard internally, they were still listed on the roster.
Yeah, so Sean Ross Sapp tweeted today after PW Insider's story that he's going to do kind of a roundup of information for Fightful Select later today, and also relayed a bit of information about, I think it was WrestleCade tried to get Mercedes to appear. And it was apparently a done deal, but then it was relayed apparently to WrestleCade that Mercedes couldn't do appearances till after January 1st. Like wrestling related appearances, I think was the thing until after January 1st. So, if she's going to appear at a New Japan show, odds are she will not be under WWE contract. Not to say it's an impossibility. Odds are, she won't be signed to WWE any longer, and that would make sense too if she can't do any sort of wrestling themed appearances until after January 1st as well.
Yeah, that sort of does add a new wrinkle to it. I mean, I actually would not be shocked if WWE at this point, with the way they are, and with the story that got out a while ago that Triple H had offered, Brody Lee, the Luke Harper at the time, the chance to go to New Japan while he was under WWE contract, and what's going on with Shinsuke. Kevin Owens recently saying he seems like it's more possible to do that kind of stuff. It wouldn't shock me at all if she did this under contract. However, that particular wrinkle is kind of interesting. If that's the truth, that she would not be permitted to do that until after January 1st, that would indicate that there's some sort of contractual thing limiting her from doing that stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's fantastic if she does that, and it's also, to me, it's, I don't know Sasha. We met her a couple times, and obviously she loves wrestling.
Yes.
But no, it's kind of interesting that she would do this, given that she seems to have like her hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah, it just announced that she's in a movie coming up here.
Yeah.
She just finished, either just finished shooting or is currently shooting or in the process or something, a major motion picture. You mentioned she was on Barmageddon. I don't know if that episode is aired yet.
Well, yeah, I just saw her in like the promotional stuff. That's huge.
Yeah,
though.
Same.
What's the name? Blake Shelton? Shelton Blake? Blake Shelton?
Blake Shelton, yeah.
Blake Shelton, yeah.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani. Sheryl Crow's on it coming up here soon. Who else was on it? I forget. Doesn't matter.
Carson Daly. I think he's the co-host.
Daly. He's the co-host,
co-host.
Yeah.
Of course, both Mercedes and Naomi have been showing up at a variety of premieres.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. I mean, both Mercedes and Naomi have been keeping busy.
Yeah.
With endeavors outside of wrestling. So
Yeah.
it seems like this time away from WWE, they're using it to do other things.
Yeah.
Maybe explore career paths outside of wrestling.
Yeah. And that, I don't know, that sort of, no matter what, this just sort of benefits, if they do end up back in WWE, it just benefits WWE anyways. Even if she did this under WWE contract, if she was given permission to do this, that just benefits WWE. All that exposure out there and getting, all that buzz, that's good stuff regardless of what she ends up doing for whoever ends up signing her.
Yeah. A lot of people here in chat are asking about Gallows and Anderson being at Wrestle Kingdom. That was an appearance that was booked before they signed to WWE. I know Anderson's already kind of blown off one scheduled appearance for New Japan, but I think one of the caveats to signing with WWE is they were kind of supposed to honor their commitments to New Japan.
Yeah.
While also signed. But once those commitments are fulfilled in New Japan, I'd be hard pressed to believe they show up there. I'm not gonna say it all, but I would be surprised if they did. But then again, if there's some sort of burgeoning relationship between WWE and New Japan, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the thing these days. The whole thing is like, who knows? I mean, as we saw last night, John Gargano returned to Twitch, and all those WWEers, except for AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been the one guy. And I wonder if that is sort of because AJ was using his as kind of like a running shoot interview. And everybody else was using, just doing sort of nerdy Twitch stuff. But like games and stuff. But yeah, no, it does seem like there's and the reports that we've read about, there was like a Fightful write-up last week about how morale is a lot better in WWE right now. And you just love to see it, man. You don't want to see people, feel like they're at the whims of a weirdo.
Well, and it's not a good feeling to walk into work every day being in an unpredictable environment.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You want to go into work knowing what to expect.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, DeParty, that's right. DeParty's back together.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that shit? We're going to talk more about DeParty member Xavier Woods, Austin Creed on NXT here in a little bit. But first, also, we've got this. So we went from something that's really cool to something that's a big old bummer. And that's Miro in AEW. Because we've been asking ourselves repeatedly. Look at that lovely piece of artwork that I did for you back there.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Wow. We've been asking ourselves, where's Miro? Well, not, he is behind Larson, but that's a piece of artwork. But he hasn't actually.
Where's Miro? Actually, Miro.
Where's actual Miro? He hasn't appeared in AEW since All Out. Jesus, that was in September.
That was 3 months ago.
And yesterday, Fightful Select reached out to sources within AEW. They told Fightful that Miro is completely healthy. He's eager to get back to the ring, but it was noted that creative simply hasn't been presented for him.
How do you have no creative for Miro? You put him on camera and let him talk. What else do you do?
It's like having no creative for Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, man, you got like one of the best performers in your company. He's just dropping these
sitting
amazing
on the sidelines for no
redeemer
reason.
Promos. He's literally in a feud with God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they got nothing for him, man. I could just off the top of my head, I can come up with 5 feuds for Miro.
Of course you can.
Pack. Boom, there, done.
Done.
I mean, he's in the middle of a best of 7 right now, but still, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He could
imagine if Miro has a hammer too.
Oh my God, the hammer of God right there. I took this from God Buddy. Actually, I got it from Home Depot. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know how they do that. I know Tony Khan in some recent statements said, yeah, I never intended when I signed people to AEW. I kind of feel like this is a bit of bullshit. I never intended them everybody to be on TV every single week and be involved in stuff. But it's like, man, you have them. Why aren't you using them? Like, that's just weird to me. If the guy really wants to be wrestling, it's just kind of whack, dude.
And he's consistently one of the best performers you got.
I know. Yeah.
You utilize him.
Yeah.
And to not do so seems downright foolish.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Miro, Samoa Joe. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine the
That'd
promos there? Miro, Samoa Joe. Just let them go for like 3 months, man.
Yeah. 1 hour promo off every Dynamite. It wouldn't get boring.
No, man. No.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. That's a real bummer.
It really is.
Hopefully they rectify that soon. Hopefully they redeem that soon.
They really should have put the All-Atlantic title on him instead of. Well, I mean, it was cool Pac one, but imagine if Miro had won.
It was cool Pac one, but they should have just done like a singles thing after that, and then Pac drops it to Miro, who has it now. I mean, look, the Orange Cassidy stuff is fun, right? Like I like the little interplay between him.
It has.
Him and Mark Henry is great when he won it. But then, hey, you know what? Yeah, how about this? Orange Cassidy beats Pac, and then Miro beats Orange Cassidy. Come on, just do that. Just do that.
Let's do that. Maybe that'll still happen.
Yeah, maybe. It's just sort of crazy, like, the way they do things in AEW. Like, he did all these promos and stuff, and I know he had something for House of Black. Well, they're back. Mm-hmm. They're back.
Mm-hmm.
Get them back. Get them back together. Pick it up.
I know. So we got NXT Deadline this weekend, Steve.
Well, before we get into these predictions, Larson, perhaps we should pause to pay some bills. What do you say?
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we're going to take a break to get a word from our sponsor, Raycon. Hey, Larson.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of year 2022 because it's the holidays, man. That's not to say there's not stress this time of the year, Christmas time. Maybe you got to worry about holiday travel or prepping a meal for the whole family. Maybe you got to be around some family members that, oh boy, just drive you up the wall. Last thing you want to stress about, though, is finding a great gift for everybody on your list.
That's correct, Steve, and that's why my go-to gift idea is some premium audio products from Raycon. I've been using my Raycon wireless earbuds for a while now, and I've found they're useful in just about, any situation. I use them to listen to music or podcasts while I'm working out. Did that today, in fact, had a good arm day. Or when I'm out running errands, or if I just want to sit down and listen to something mellow and just relax. And because of that, I know that anyone you gift some Raycons to will find a use for them right away.
And check this out. For the next month, Raycon will have a countdown to Christmas with a new pop-up flash sale deal for you to take advantage of every single day. You can also now find Raycons in stores like Kohl's and Walmart, but you're always going to get the best deal at buyraycon.com/raw.
And right now, and I mean right now, go to buyraycon.com/raw to get 15% off site-wide with code HOLIDAY, plus free shipping. That's code HOLIDAY at buyraycon.com/raw for 15% off your Raycon purchase. buyraycon.com/raw.
There's a great little comment here in our Twitch chat. White Brownie says, Miro to Tony Khan. I'm ready. Tony Khan says, oh, more Cole Carter. You got it. More Factory. Hey, how about this? More QT Marshall. Seen that guy before.
We have. He seems to have endless creative for QT.
Endless creative. I mean, all
endless creative.
QT losing.
Endless. Yeah. All right, now let's talk NXT Deadline. I know you're looking forward to this show a lot. So let's talk about
I'm thinking of no showing our first show just so I can sit there and watch Deadline. I'm not. So we got 5 matches, 2 Iron Survivor bouts. We got NXT World Title bout, Braun Breaker and Apollo Crews. They went fishing this week. I really like that segment. Now, I'll be honest with you, man. I just want to see them team up now. They've got very good chemistry as buddies. This came off more like a first date situation. I know they had already gone to the diner, but this, they're just 2 dudes out there fishing, and they caught a fish. Apollo let it go, and so that was good stuff.
It's like the most friendly shit talking you can imagine.
I don't want them to fight. Don't want it.
No.
Don't want it.
No.
It makes me sad. They're too friendly.
Maybe they won't fight. They'll just have like a catch wrestling match. They'll just all be holds. No actual
an exhibition.
Strikes thrown.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
We got a pretty surprising tag title bout between Pretty Deadly and the New Day.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So, like, are they telling a story where New Day just keeps on losing and they just get to rock bottom and they're going to break up or something? Because they're not going to be NXT tag champs.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be tag champs, but I don't think they're telling a story about them breaking up.
Well, that was kind of a joke, but what other story are they telling? Like, they're going to go in there and lose to Pretty Deadly and just fuck off?
No, there's got to be something else going on.
You think so?
I just don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there somebody that's going to debut that's going to help Pretty Deadly win or something?
Mm-hmm.
got to be something. Something's got to happen. There's got to be some sort of outside interference that helps Pretty Deadly get that win.
I mean, Pretty Deadly are very crafty.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just so used to, like, I don't know, the New Day were so dominant. Like, they just had a match with the Usos about, like, over the top record. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it's good to have them on the show. You're trying to sell tickets. This is a premium. Is this one going to be at the Performance Center, or is this going to be out?
Yeah, but the next one's going to be on the road. They announced
that was announced. Charlotte, right?
Yeah, Vengeance Day. I think February 6th.
Yeah.
It's going to be in Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. You want to put a bunch of eyes on the product. You put the New Day, they're a draw. You need that star power. I get it. But man, I don't know, like a friendly with the Creeds or something. I mean, I know the Creeds have got bad rib issues now, and they're dealing with the into share and everything. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. They'll just do the thing, and Pretty Deadly will cheat, and the New Day will go and sort of act like it didn't happen when they go back to main roster. That's probably what it's going to be. But that's a pretty big deal for Pretty Deadly to beat the New Day.
I know, that's a massive deal. Arguably the greatest tag team in WWE history. The New Day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would actually probably consider them the greatest tag team in WWE history, personally.
Yeah, they're pretty far up there, man.
They're the most decorated. Used to have the longest reign. So
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would definitely say they're the greatest tag team in WWE history. Yeah, so yeah, it'd be a huge win if Pretty Deadly were to win that bout. Let's make our picks here. First up, Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. They didn't have a Grayson Waller effect for the women's match. Instead, they had video packages interspersed throughout the show.
I preferred that over the way
I
they
actually
did,
thought NXT was pretty decent this week until the Grayson Waller effect happened.
Yeah, I actually thought, like, when I was watching the last match, I was like, oh man, they're giving this a lot of time. That's awesome. It deserves a lot of time. And then they did the Grayson Waller effect. I forgot that they were going to do that in the first place.
The only thing redeeming about that is people talking crap about JD McDonough.
Yeah, that's always hilarious. So you have Roxanne Perez here with 2 confidence points. Explain yourself, sir. Who are the other participants? It's Kiana James, Zoe Stark, Indy Hartwell, and Roxanne Perez,
and Cora Jade,
and then Cora Jade. That's right. So it's going to be a good guy.
Yeah. So that pretty much means it'll be either Roxanne or Indy, even though I'm not sure if Indy's a face or heel at this juncture.
Indy had a good little promo with Mandy.
Yeah. So I mean, in my mind, it's either Roxanne or Indy. Is Indy going to get the title shot because she hasn't had one yet? But ultimately probably lose to Mandy, or are they going to have Roxanne be the number 1 contender and actually beat Mandy? Because Mandy's had that title for more than a year now.
She's had it for more than a year. Yeah. So this is my guess. I'm going to say it's going to be Indy because the next person against Mandy Rose is going to lose, and they're going to wait until. So when is Vengeance Day? February. Is the idea that this match is going to not take place until February, or are they going to do? They're probably going to do.
I don't think they mentioned that.
Because I think Mandy's going to win either at Vengeance Day, or she's going to lose. I'm sorry, Mandy's going to lose either at Vengeance Day, which is on the road, big deal, or at Stand and Deliver, which I think maybe makes a bit more sense because you're at a wrestle. You're like it's WrestleMania time,
Mania weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then I think at that point, I'd be kind of shocked if it wasn't Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a deal. So I'm just going to say
it kind of depends.
Yeah.
It's not a bad pick.
Yeah. But just I have 1 confidence point.
Yeah, I'll have one on Roxanne too. Next, Alpha Fire versus. I'll be honest. There's only one match in here I feel like is a lock, and that's Braun beating Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Everything else could go either way. Right. I mean, Isla Dawn just showed up. Kind of thinks she has to win this.
Yeah, she did.
And then Alba stood tall last night. So the go home math favors Isla.
She has, yeah. She beat Thea Hale. But that's not a big deal.
Yeah, and then she tried to miss Alba, but instead Isla missed the ref.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably right about that. I'll go Isla with 3 here.
All right.
Yeah. And then we've got the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. JD, Carmelo, Grayson Waller, Axiom, and Joe Gacy are the guys there.
So Gacy and JD, in my estimation, they're out. They've already had their title shot. They ain't winning this match.
Yup.
It kind of just leaves Mello. I think Mello's going to win this.
You know, just for the conversation, I still have time to change my picks.
Absolutely.
Did you say has Waller had a shot at Braun Breaker? That was like
I don't believe
early.
So, no.
No? Okay.
Not a title shot, no.
I'll go with Waller, 2 confidence points on this one, because I think that he is sort of on the, you know, it's like they just got rid of Von Wagner. You know, they just did the Von Wagner thing. So I think that if they do Waller, they're not going to wait 2 months to get it at Vengeance Day. They'll do Waller. They'll get it out of the way. It's a bit of a different opponent for Braun Breaker. And so yeah, I'll say Waller with 2. And then because here's the thing. I don't know if the plan, I know that they just did a thing with Trick was on main event. So I don't know if they're planning on bringing both, because Mello's already done some main event stuff. I don't know if they're planning on bringing them both up. That's or true. if they're going to bring Braun up instead. I mean, they could do both, but if they're going to do Braun instead, Carmelo should be the guy leading NXT.
Yeah,
from
if
here
he's staying
on.
there. If he's staying there, yeah.
No, absolutely. If he's staying there, I mean, I think he should go to main roster. To be honest with you,
yeah.
But I don't know. I'd probably put that title on Mello. And again, if that's going to happen, it's either Vengeance Day or Stand and Deliver.
Yeah. And I don't believe they said if the winner of this gets the title shot before Vengeance Day or not.
Yeah, but you got to figure. I mean, 2 months is a long. Usually NXT, they'll go at a fast clip. They're not going to wait around. Yeah. So I'll go Waller with 2.
All right, fair enough. Next, Pretty Deadly versus the New Day. We talked about that a little bit. You know what? I'm going to roll the dice on the New Day. Maybe they'll put the belts on them for a little bit. Maybe they got a story in mind.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's not like New Day's doing a whole lot on main roster. I know they're kind of feuding with Imperium a little bit.
I mean, they could come in. Imperium's literally shown up in NXT like a couple weeks ago. You know.
Yeah.
So I got Pretty Deadly with 4 on this one, man.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes, boy.
Do a side plate check there.
I can't stand that shit, dude. They're entertaining.
Yeah, they are entertaining, but I didn't really take very many notes of their story from Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, these are unofficial, non-binding picks, so we can change them up until the show starts. The main event, Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews. I got Braun with 5.
Oh, let's go fishing. Let's just do this match. We'll go fishing. I like going fishing with you. Yeah, no, I got Braun with 5. There's no way. That'd be sick, though. That'd be awesome if Apollo Crews won.
Oh, heck yeah.
That'd be rad. He's great. So far, do you think in the battle of the debate between these two guys, you know, who do you think has the edge? Who do you think has the advantage in terms of what they've laid out as their arguments?
Though. Here's the thing. The crap talk between them is so friendly.
It is, yeah.
And there doesn't feel to be any real, like, venom behind it.
Yeah.
And so it feels like it's not so much, hey, this is a legitimate debate about who's better. It's just a game of a little bit of who's got the cleverest comeback.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because I don't really feel like it's a situation where either of them are like, oh, yeah, I like Apollo Crews isn't like, I'm like 10 times better in Braun Breaker and vice versa.
Yeah, the temperature here has not gone into the orange. It's firmly in the green, you know? I just invented my own scale for like the heat meter in terms of how pissed off they are at each other. And it goes green, yellow, orange, red, and then maybe like purple. But
it's like the friendliest feud I've seen in a very long time.
It really is. It's like borderline blue at this point. It's so cold. They're just like, they really, I don't even know if they want to have this match. They're like, man, we're having such a good time at the diner, on the fishing boat. You know, this is just friendly right here.
Maybe they'll, rather than start like a tag team in NXT, maybe they'll do some fishing competitions together.
Oh, that's cool. Could you imagine if you cheat and these guys are there? Oh, man. Get put in the Steiner recliner.
Oh, wow.
Get hit with this, was it Steiner liner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frankensteiner.
The Frankensteiner?
A Steiner screwdriver.
And then whatever Apollo Crews' cool moves are, standing moonsault.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts writing your name down in his little note thing. It's like, hey, what are you putting there? It's like, oh, he's going to get hit by a car. Whoa, stop it. Stop writing that.
It's like, they say, well, one of your visions haven't come true, right? No, they all come true.
They all come true, yeah. So, I have Steve just cheating at fishing right here.
Yeah, Steve exposes Triple H.
What are you talking about? That's weird.
Sorry, let's get into the show. So the show opened up with Von Wagner versus Axiom versus Andre Chase. Before the match starts, backstage, Duke is hyping up Andre Chase. Chase says it's time to give those two. They bleeped it out, but he called them motherfuckers.
He totally said motherfuckers. That was awesome.
Yeah, a Chase U-sized ass whooping.
Yeah, that was good stuff. In the end, though, Von Wagner eats the pin.
That was great.
That was awesome. That was so great. This dude. Anyways, what is Von Wagner looks to hit his finish on Axiom. Chase kicks Von, hits him and Axiom with double DDTs, follows with a top rope crossbody on Von. Chase rolls out of the ring after that. And then while Vaughn is still reeling from this devastating crossbody from Harlem Bravado, Axiom
that sends Andre Chase out of the ring. They're like, oh, his momentum from hitting that crossbody just sent him out of the ring.
Yeah, well, maybe Axiom, his math can figure that one out because he was unable to hit Vaughn with the golden ratio for the win. Von Wagner eating the pin here. Come to thing.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Then we had the first of 5 video packages for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. This one, Cora Jade. Just essentially making her case why she should be the one that wins.
Yep. After that, this was great. Like maybe like a worse trainer than AEW's guy. He was checking on Julius Creed. He was like, all right, Julius. So it's like Julius Brutus is there and then Ivy and the other gal.
Tatum.
Tatum Paxley. That's right.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, Julius, you're good to go. I've checked you up and down. You're fine. And then Ivy's like, hold on a second. Did you check his ribbies? And the trainer's like, what? The ribs? And so he's like, lift up your arms. And he's like, oh, there's some swelling there. Definitely some bruising. And they're like, oh, Ivy, why'd you do that? Jeez. Yeah, pretty much. She's like, I'm looking after him. Like, I know that his ribbies got softened up. This trainer doing a half-ass job. Yeah, so then he rescinded his clearance. For Julius to compete.
Julius no longer cleared.
No longer clear.
Yeah. You don't be out there wrestling with a rib injury. Injury sucks.
No, it's horrible. These guys need to get their heads on right. Listen to Ivy. She knows what she's talking about.
I mean, even rib tape ain't going to do much to help you. I had bruised ribs once, and that sucked. Worst pain I've ever felt in my life was sneezing with bruised ribs.
Ouch.
Eesh. Awful.
Yeah, man.
Awful.
That's horrible.
I heard him playing basketball when we were in that basketball league.
Oh, really? Somebody body you?
Yeah, I took a shoulder right to my ribs. Right
Ow. Here. Oh, my goodness.
I tried to draw the charge. I didn't even draw the charge.
Man, those refs are not going to call that shit.
Yeah, I know. I was outside the circle.
This ain't the NBA, bro.
I didn't flop, that's why. If I had flop, maybe. Anyway, after that, we had Braun. He's going fishing.
Yeah, man.
Put the cast out into the whatever body of water he was fishing in.
Yeah, some chewing tobacco, too. Yeah, big old wad of it right here.
Yeah. And so Apollo Crews steps up. He's like, hey, can I join you? And so they go fishing together. And Crews is the only one that catches a fish. He puts it back, though.
Because he had written it down. He kissed it, then he put it back.
He did.
Yeah. They just talk a lot of friendly trash. And then Apollo quantum leaps out of there.
Yeah.
That'd be great, though. They did one last shot, and like all of a sudden it's just Braun by himself. Did he imagine the whole thing? Where'd he go? He disappeared. My best friend. Don't need a dog anymore because I got a friend. After that, we were going to have Bryson Montana versus Javier Bernal. Big body Javi. But then, unfortunately, Sangha and Veer attack this poor Bryson Montana fella. Sangha chokeslams the ever-living shit out of him. So then Javier Bernal thinks he's still having this match. He's like, and his opponent. And he comes to the ring, and he's like, what the fuck? Those are large men. And he's like, my leg hurts all of a sudden.
Hamstring.
And then so he walks backstage. And then Veer says, we're not going to face the Creeds until they're 100%. They have heart, but clearly they're not 100%, so we respectfully decline their challenge. But we're going to wait. And then Sangha says, but don't keep us waiting so long, or too long. And then the Creeds try to come to the ring, but security, Ivy, and Tatum try to keep them back. They're like, no, don't be stupid. You'll get annihilated by these two guys.
Yeah. So then we have Chase U backstage. Andre Chase upset about his loss. Thea Hale runs in. She says, I have a match tonight. And it's against Isla Dawn. And Duke says, no way. And then Thea's like, yeah, I got a match against Isla Dawn. And then Duke says, no. I mean, you shouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And then Thea says, I know she's super scary, but I'm super ready. And then Duke goes to Chase, says, help me out here.
Yeah, right.
And then Chase just kind of mutters, yeah, she can have the match.
Yeah.
And Duke's like, what? And then Chase stands up and says, she can compete tonight. Thea runs out. She's all hyped up. And Duke says to Andre, I know you lost tonight. And then Chase slams a locker door, says, damn it, Duke, I've made that my decision. And then he walks out.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the better stories going on in NXT.
I was literally about to say that. This is actually one of the more compelling stories in NXT.
Because everybody's doing great work.
Right, I know, yeah. And Duke is like making some good points here. And that little bit last week about the boot, and he like, I can stop it when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Shawn Michaels just, super inspired by this one storyline. So then we had a Zion Quinn, the X Factor. You look up pro wrestling and you see me versus the returning Tony D'Angelo. So Tony D wins after hitting his finish, and he drops a promo. He asks Stax. He says, "Hey Stax, you see any rust in the ring?" He's gassed, by the way. So the promo is hilariously winded, and Stax is like, "No," he's like, "Yeah, maybe on Mr. X Factor over there, not me. I'm like a shiny new hubcap. So listen, hold on. During my physical therapy." Gabagool, I gained some new revenues down at the docks. Like, whoa, Gabagool, made some new connections. God. But for us, it always came down to Wesley and the North American title. I was on my way to, God, this is a lot of words. I was on my way to winning that qualifying match until Lee blew his knee. Hey, Gabagool. He said, Lee's been living on that rep of injuring my knee. So finally, Wesley comes out. He's like, welcome back, Tony. Tony says, I appreciate you coming out to pay tribute. Wes says, everybody knows that you've been eyeing me and my title. He says, I want to let you know that I'm eyeing you just as much. He says, not to mention somebody I plan on taking care of. And then Stax tells Lee to have his eye on Tony. Lee says, you need to calm him down. Put him on decaf. He says, after I beat Mello, Dijak, our justice, came out and dropped me. So I've got unfinished business with him. He says, so if you want a shot at my title, you're going to have to wait until I'm done with Dijak. And Tony says, I'm insulted that you think that I'd wait in any line. I don't care about any business you have with Dijak. He says, Dijak plays by a different set of rules. Good for him. He says, so you and Dijak's business going to have to wait for another time. And then Dijak, he shows up on the Tron. He's like, hey, Tony, damn right I play by a different set of rules. That's right. I tell it like it is, okay? Tony, you're a scumbag from the streets. And as long as Tony stays out of my way, I won't have to clean up those streets. And Wesley, when I jacked your jaw, I thought you'd crawl into a hole and never come out. My advice to you, that's right. Keep my name out of your mouth, okay? Because I have a very special way of dealing with repeat offenders, okay? Neither one of you can or will do anything to stop Dijak from decimating NXT. And then, like,
so
they then they sort of just like,
So
shove
Stax
each other
asks Lee if he's listening to Dijak, because he better be, because the way I see it, there's nowhere to run. That he shoves Lee. Lee shoves him back. Tony D'Angelo runs towards Wesley, and like super smooth, Wesley starts his roll out of the ring in the ring, and when he's rolling backwards, feet through the ropes, lands right on his feet on the floor.
He does like a back roll out of the ring from inside the ring. That was crazy.
It was great.
That was neat. Yeah.
So, like, as far as Dijak's presentation as 80s vigilante, they almost had it.
Yeah.
Except for that last line about decimating NXT.
Oh, yeah. I don't get that. But, it's just
I still feel like they don't know who this character is.
I think they think they know. I think they think that he's like, oh, he's just here. It's sort of a standard bad guy trope. I'm going to destroy everything, Yeah,
I know.
But
everything else is vigilante.
It should be more in line with vigilante. Yeah.
Yeah, it should.
But they want him to be a bad guy, and a vigilante usually works for good, I guess. So, I don't
know. So we rewind to last week. Hank Walker walks up to Charlie Dempsey, and he says, I heard what you had to say, Charlie, and I get it. I didn't get in the ring when I was 4. I got it when I was 24, and I wish I could follow my father's footsteps. My dad just worked in factories his whole life. And Charlie just goes, good for him.
Good for him.
So, good for him. So Hank says, I just want the same opportunity and respect everyone else here gets. And I have to prove to you that I belong here. Just say the word and we can make it happen. Charlie looks at him and says, I'll show that you don't belong here.
Yeah.
So they have a match later.
Charlie's awesome. He's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate also Hank was like, hey, you've been doing this since you were 4. I've been doing this since I'm 24. And I noticed this in Roxanne Perez's little video package thing. She was like, she started off with a very familiar line that you hear a lot. Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to do this. Right? It'd be great. Like if Hank Walker was like, you know what? Ever since I was 22, I've wanted to do this. The first 22 years of my life, I wanted to be like a garbage man. But then I realized I couldn't put up with the smell. But I'd always thought it'd be really cool to have the other people's free shit.
He was like, I watched my first wrestling show. NWO sold out in 1997. I thought to myself, I don't want to be a wrestler. I want to drive a garbage truck.
Right, yeah. That's what inspired me. I didn't take the wrestling stuff away from it. They were all on garbage trucks, and they looked so cool. So I took a different career path. But then I remembered...
Driving down the snowy streets of Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I just wanted some free shit. But then I realized that like there's literal like shit and vomit. Yeah, that you have to deal with when you're garbage horrendous. Man. Yeah, it smells awful. I have olfactory senses that are 10 times that of normal man. So, can't do it.
So then we had a Scripps video package.
Zondo says yesterday I was like, MMA is hard. I'll pretend to do it. Ever since I can remember, I want to be an MMA fighter, but then I got fucking annihilated.
And then I got wrecked. Yeah,
and I was like,
I do like that.
I want to act like I'm doing that.
Hank Walker has a vocational gimmick, but his vocation is aspiring wrestler.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, exactly. I do appreciate too. They should reiterate more often that he still wears regular person clothes because he's building to the point of getting,
even just young lion gear. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Did he? So after that, we had a Scripps video package.
Yeah.
Which stood out to me. Why did this stand out to me? Oh, because he was being kind of more poetic with his stuff this time, wasn't he? That was the deal, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there was always a sense of...
Oh, that's why it stood out to me. He broke his fucking pencil at the end, and it really triggered me.
Oh.
I was like, why are you writing? And then you look at his fucking paper. He's talking about all this poetic shit, and you think he might be writing it down, but it's just his name in this, like, madman scrawl. It just says Scripps, and he went, I'm like, why did you break your pencil, man? You got to get a new one now.
Did he break it in half or break the tip off?
No, he broke it. It was like he was writing so hard that it went.
Gotcha.
So like it wasn't even the tip though. Like it was the most aggressive pencil writing, and it was just he was just scrawling his name so hard.
There we go. Okay. Then we got Hank Walker.
Wait a second. Why didn't you do that in his promo?
I just didn't think about it until now.
Every time I see this dude, that's the only thing I think is us going, but I thought maybe Larson's over that shit, so maybe he's not doing it. Okay.
I still say John like 4 years later versus Charlie Dempsey. And Booker T spends this whole match talking crap about Hank Walker.
Yes,
why he shouldn't be a wrestler.
Oh, Booker T was phenomenal the entire episode. He's really in a groove because he's sort of like, I feel like, HBK was saying, Triple H just lets me do my own thing. I feel like he just lets Booker T do his own thing. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It's great. Ultimately, Dempsey gets the win here. He was looking for a half crab. Hank tries to kick out. So Dempsey starts stretching his knee with a half crab and then locks in that finish where he traps the head too. And then Hank has to tap.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't laughing there.
Yeah. We had some Drew Gulak there, man. Drew Gulak showed up in NXT. That's kind of cool. Who is this? Malik Black here in our chat, in our YouTube chat with a super chat, says, I need some type of segment with Chase and Gulak.
Oh, that'd be great.
Could they manage that without exploding the universe? Because I feel like there's such same energy that might happen.
Chase needs to hire Gulak as one of the professors at Chase U.
I agree. I'm a special guest
do
professor.
A PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, Booker T was outstanding in this episode.
Oh, yeah. So then we had the Zoe Stark video package again for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge bout. Then we had a Grayson Waller interview. He said, tonight's going to be exciting because in 4 days, it's the final WWE Premium Live event of the year. And he talks to Mackenzie, says, you don't like me because I do my job better than you do, and there's no one on the roster who can do what I do, and that's why I'm the odds-on favorite to be the first Iron Survivor. But tonight, in the main event, no less, I want to see where these guys' heads are at. I want to get a mental edge. Not that will be hard. They're already nervous because they're feeling the Grayson Waller effect.
Grayson Waller effect. Voila. After that, Pretty Deadly come out and they tell their own Christmas story. They close saying that 2023 is going to be Pretty Deadly's year. They hug. New Day come to the ramp. Kofi says, first and foremost, what an amazing story. Woods says, but the story that we want to hear talks about who you'll be defending those titles against at Deadline. Kofi says, you beat everybody, right? No, it's Kip says. Right, no, who says this? It says
no,
Kip.
It's probably Kofi. I just
okay.
note taken on my part.
Because like, wait, there's a Kip, there's a Kofi. Anyways, Woods says, you beat everybody except for the New Day. Because like the story they told talks about how they beat everybody. Yeah. So the New Day get in the ring. Kofi challenges Pretty Deadly to a match at Deadline. Pretty Deadly takes a swing. New Day duck that swing. They take it to Pretty Deadly. They throw Elton into a Christmas tree. And they throw a gift at Kit. And then they bash gifts over their heads. And then super kick the Pretty Deadly off the apron. And they grab the tag titles. Yeah.
They did everything to indicate they ain't winning.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Which is why I have 4 confidence points on.
2 on New Day. And we get an Isla Dawn, a really brief Isla Dawn video package. She has a match against Thea Hale later. And then Javier Bernal's walking backstage. Mackenzie walks up for an interview, and he starts selling leg again once she steps up. And Bernal's like, whoa, you scared the crap out of me. And, you know, when he was walking around, he was kind of looking over his shoulder a little bit. Mackenzie asked him, why were you looking over your shoulder? Are you looking for Indus Sher? And Bernal's like, why would I be looking for Indus Sher? And I wasn't looking over my shoulder. Mackenzie was like, you clearly were. And Bernard tells her, that's incredibly insensitive. I have an uncontrollable twitch. Oh, wow. Besides, I'm not scared of nothing. Yeah. I ain't scared of nothing. And Mackenzie says, she tries to insist, yeah, you seem scared, but all right, never mind. And Bernal says, that's what Veer and Songa said when they took one look at me. They don't want none of this.
Oh, yeah, man.
And he says, I know what's going on. Mackenzie, you're anti-big body Javi.
Oh, wow.
I need someone a bit more unbiased to do this interview. And so Ikemen Jiro walks by. Mackenzie's like, come over here. Ikemen, come here. What do you think of Javier Bernal? And Bernal's like, hold on. I'm going to ask this question. What do you think of big body Javi?
Yeah.
And Jiro thinks about it for a second. He says, he calls him big body chicken.
Wow. Eviscerated him. After that, we have so I mean that's going to be a win for Javi.
Yeah, probably
versus Jiro. You got to get some wins for Barnell, man. I think he's great. After that, we had Thea Hale versus Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn, of course, wins this match. She gets a pair of reverse DDT elbows.
Yeah, it's kind of that move Finn Balor does, where it's like Scorpion Death Drop.
Yeah.
Instead of just hit the DDT, his elbow with it.
Yeah. And then, then like Smoke shoots up at ringside, which is kind of Isla Dawn's thing, but she looks confused. She's like, this isn't me. And
this
then
isn't my Smoke.
Yeah. And then Alba Fire, who has lit some sort of fire somewhere because it's sort of her thing, arsonist. She hits the ring to attack Isla. The refs come out to separate them. Alba charges Isla. The ref tries to hold her back. Isla spits out mist. Alba ducks that, but the ref takes it in the face. What color was the mist?
I don't recall.
Because we're trying to think which because there's like poison.
Yeah.
There's blindness, I think.
Yeah.
And there's like one really bad one. It's like death or something. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's death.
No, but something really bad.
Something awful.
Yeah, really awful. Then we had a Kiana James video package for both Iron Survivor Challenge, but also the deal she's trying to pursue to buy Fallon Henley's bar. And so at the end of this video package, there's an envelope that she hands her assistant.
Yeah.
Then we got a Lyra Valkyria video package after that. She's debuting next week.
That's cool. Whoa, my gosh. Man down. There we go. A little bobblehead.
Got a little too animated there. I'm sorry.
The Funko Pop Larson fell. And then after that, we had Briggs and Jensen versus Blade and Enofe. This is our second Von Wagner appearance of the night. Yeah. He shows up to attack Odyssey because he's hanging out with Blade and Enofe. I like that group. They should give them a name of some sort.
Yeah.
Like a proper faction. So Von Wagner attacks Odyssey, and that distracts Idris Enofe, who's in the ring. So Jensen's able to hit him with a spinning heel kick. Briggs and Jensen hit their finisher for the win.
And even earlier, Jensen gets distracted by Kiana's assistant, who puts that same envelope that was in the video package into Jensen's jacket.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff going on here.
Really. It's an eventful episode of NXT. Really, until the end segment, I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Then we get a Roxanne Perez video package. she's talking. You think she's just doing a promo to camera, but the camera pulls out. And she's talking to a mirror.
She's practicing.
Trying to hype herself up. Yeah.
Film the rehearsal. That's what they did.
Film the rehearsal.
It's like the Darby Allin thing.
Then we get Briggs, Jensen, and Fallon Henley backstage. So Briggs and Fallon are talking about her match, her triple threat match, and how she's going to win. Jensen opens up the envelope that was in his jacket. Inside are VIP tickets to Deadline, courtesy of Kiana James.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fallon says, Kiana's not winning the Iron Survivor Challenge. I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did not happen that way.
No.
We had that next, Indy Hartwell versus Wendy Chu versus Fallon Henley. This is a rad match, man. I thought this was
really good. It was
really announced right before Pretty Deadly versus New Day for Deadline. But no, this is good stuff. They did like one of the big Tower of Doom bits here. But in the end, so Wendy Chu goes up to the top rope, hits a splash on Fallon, and Indy throws Chu out of the ring and then loads up the forearm she hits to the back of the head now as a finish to get the win here. So Indy Hartwell gets the win. After that, we had a Toxic Attraction promo. Gigi asks if we're going to Deadline, and Mandy's like, of course you are. We got 5 women fighting over the right to face me. And then Indy walks in, and she lays down a pretty decent promo here. She's like, Saturday's my day. She says the other 364 to go to somebody else, but Saturday's my day. She says, for months, everybody's been wondering who's going to be the woman taking the title off Mandy. She said, well, you're looking at her. It's me. She says, once the clock runs out on Saturday, the clock starts ticking on Mandy's title reign. I thought that was a pretty effective promo right here, man.
Yeah, I thought so too. Between this promo and then Indy had whole stretches of that triple threat match where she was absolutely dominating.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the main event segment, Grayson Waller effect with all the Iron Survivor Challenge participants. So Waller talks up the match, introduces everybody else on the panel. Everybody kind of has their turns talking. And fairly often everybody had their turn making fun of JD McDonough.
Yes. Him especially his large head being sort of the central thesis of most people's.
Yes.
Shit talk.
And then a lot of this is just like people talking about, all right, well, when do we want to be in the match? Do you want to be first, second, fourth, wherever? And they were all, and it's like it kickstarted with Axiom saying, oh, I want to be first or second because that gives me most opportunities to get most pinfalls. And the counter of that was, well, there's more time in the ring for you to get pinned too. And then Joe Gacy says, well, I want to be in fourth because that's like the perfect position where everybody's tired. I can take advantage, get a bunch of pinfalls before the 5th person comes in because then you only have 5 minutes left or however long it is. It's just a bunch of back and forth. And ultimately it just ends in a brawl.
Where would you want to be? Where would you want to come out here? Because Gacy makes a good point.
He does make a good point.
Good. Everybody's beat
He does
up.
make a good point because if you're at fourth and you have 10 minutes to get some pinfalls against competitors who are already tired. I'd say either third or fourth because third you're like at the halfway point of the match.
I would say I'd probably go with third. Because you don't want to limit how much time you have. You need time. But if you got 2 guys in there who just beat the shit out of each other for like the length of like kind of a normal match in some cases, third.
Well, actually, I guess the first 2 would be in, and then after the first 5 minutes, the third would be in, right?
Oh, that's a good point. So yeah, fourth probably is the good
fourth
spot
would be
there.
it because then fourth would be in 10 minutes into the bout.
Right.
And the fifth would come in 15 minutes, and then you get 10 minutes of match.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So fourth or fifth,
Yeah.
Fourth would kind of be the halfway point.
Yeah.
Of the actual bout, and then you have 3 tired competitors, and then yourself, and then a fresh one after.
What you want to do is just if you're fourth, just load up your just do a bunch of taunts the entire time, and load up your specials. Doing this stuff and.
So what you do is if you're fourth, you take those 5 minutes you have and try to get as many pins as you can of the 3 other people. And then for the rest of the match, just try to break up every other pin.
Right, exactly, yeah. That's good strategy.
Otherwise, you just run out of the ring, just say, not my problem. You see a pin about to happen, break it up.
It's going to be interesting to see how they book these matches, because there's got to be some sort of weird trick to it. I can just imagine what?
I don't know. Joel Hartman says first ever Inferno match, Isla Dawn versus Alba Fire. Was that announced?
Is that a thing?
Is that a real thing?
Or is he just saying that?
I don't know. I'll check.
All right, I'm going to load up some questions. Yeah, we got questions. On the Patreon, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We put up recap threads for y'all. If you want to ask some questions, you can't make the show live. So first up from Jaime, he says, book a premium live event headlined by Hard Justice versus Von Wagner for the Dumpster Championship.
Oh, my God.
Well, as we've already mentioned, sold out. Let's do NXT sold out.
Okay.
You know, because that had like garbage trucks and a toilet. So I feel like that can be the headlining match there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about as close as we're going to get, I think. So do you remember in WCW, they had a junkyard bout?
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Where it was like a huge brawl. I think there was like a dozen wrestlers involved. Mm-hmm. And it was at a junkyard.
What was the match?
They should do that. That match was actually pretty crazy.
What was the match where it was like Dustin versus, was it like Terry Funk or something, or on top of a car?
Oh, it was like a trailer. Like
it was like a trailer. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, except they're in a garbage truck, like in the actual.
That's good, inside of a garbage truck.
Right, inside a garbage truck. It's disgusting and it's horribly unsafe. Time Warner says, do the main roster wrestlers showing up on the NXT special events hurt the brand as a whole, as it could be seen as them taking a spot from someone in NXT who could have used it? I would say no to that. If they're used right, it could help elevate those wrestlers in the minds of the audience. And, I mean, it's NXT. They do a pretty decent job of using who they have. So yes. I would say no. I don't think that's the case. It's not like it's not like it's AEW where they have like, you know, 2 brands worth of main event talent and like people like Miro get lost to the shuffle.
Yeah. No, it's smart to use main roster talent to bring potentially more eyeballs to these NXT shows, especially the premium live events. And if you can help get over, you know, up and coming talent with the help of main roster stars, and why don't you do it? Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see anything about Inferno match, so
I think he was just goofing.
I think so.
Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know about this. Kyle asked, what kind of fish would Braun Breaker catch, and would he eat said catch? So right now, the Braun Breaker that we have now would be lucky to get what Apollo got. But the way they should book Braun Breaker, he should be a guy who catches sharks. Like not those little 10-footers.
With his bare hands, yes.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. No Cell says, should Triple H call up Malik Blade and rebrand him as Malik Beyblade? Clearly. Absolutely.
Okay, so Joel confirms just an idea for the Inferno match.
It's a great idea, Joel. I love Inferno matches.
I mean, Triple H really wants to sell Beyblades, but I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't even brought it up today. We're at 104 likes, far away from the 200 we would need.
Yeah, it probably isn't going to happen.
So I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not.
That's fine.
Luis says, like New Day versus Pretty Deadly, what NXT/main roster matchups would you have liked to have seen in NXT/UK before the rebrand? So NXT people coming to UK. I mean, they did that. That last Worlds Collide was kind of lame. But I really, the Worlds Collide that preceded that, I think it was like 2019, I think.
It was really good. It's really good.
Shit, that was good.
The Imperium Undisputed Era main event was outstanding.
That whole show was really good.
DIY versus Mustache Mountain was awesome. That was a really good show.
Yeah.
I mean, we never got Walter against, you know, like some of the top NXT stars, you know, during his reign as champ.
That's true. Yeah. No, you're true. Like Gunther versus, do we ever get like Gunther versus like Keith Lee? That'd have been pretty cool. That'd have been pretty neat. I still want to see, did they do Gunther versus Finn
We
Balor?
saw Walter versus Keith Lee at a PWG show.
That's why I'm saying that's right. Yeah, that's okay. We saw that. That's what that was, and it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was.
Gunther versus Finn Balor. Did we ever see that? Because that's what they were scheduled to do before pandemic.
I don't recall, but again, my memory is garbage. So
yeah. Alex Foster says, at this point, was Damon Kemp right about Diamond Mine? They seem like they're falling apart every other month. Yeah, they're always on the fritz. And where's Roderick Strong?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we got Finn Balor versus Walter. At least not on TV.
I think they were building to that.
They were. pre-pandemic they were built.
Yeah,
for that,
Gunther versus Walter. There you go.
There we go. That's what I want to see. Get some Raw Gate dream matches happening.
Let's see here. David Matushek says, what do you think the ETAs for most NXT call-ups should be after appearing on main event? I don't think it should be a set time. I think that they use main event to check them out, see what they got, see what they look like on main roster TV. And then they decide. My only criteria would be, let's get a story for these people. Like, you see them. Okay, what kind of story can we get for them? But a guy like Carmelo, come on, like that dude, he should be on main roster.
Absolutely. I think the one aspect of doing these main event, essentially tryout matches, is not just WWE officials evaluating talent in terms of the TV presentation, is how well the wrestlers can wrestle within WWE's production approach.
Yeah.
Do they know where the hard cam is? Do they know how to work, where the cameras are to react at the right time?
Yeah.
Finding the cameras for certain story beats in the match, stuff like that. I would imagine that's probably one aspect of it that's probably important from a television standpoint.
Yeah.
And which is why they do it on main event as opposed to just having a bunch of officials ringside before a show starts to see them actually wrestle. They want to see how well they can comport themselves in a televised wrestling match on main roster.
Seems to be the case. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. No Smash Zone tonight because Enforcer's on the road to here.
Yes.
And so I don't know how that's all going to play out. So hopefully, he arrives safe, and then maybe we can hang out and, I don't know, tonight. But I don't think we're going to broadcast it. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.